Hey, Ty, how are we doing on time?
Testing, 1, 2, test, test, test. You ready to go here in a minute?
Test, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yes. Testing, 1, 2, test, test.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, do I need to adjust the volume at all?
Go ahead and turn down just a little bit for me.
Test, test, test. 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test, test, test.
Perfect.
Okay. How much time do you have on a song?
Right now I got 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but I can fade and go whenever you're ready.
Yeah, let's go about a minute.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and go off now.
All right. $15 till intro. Playing intro now. $30.
Is that till intro?
No, intro's playing right now.
Okay.
15. 10. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome, everyone, to Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis, New Mexico. It's time for Hobbs Eagle basketball, live on Cool 95.7, the Cool 95.7 app, HobbsAmerica.com, and, of course, on YouTube with live video. Ty Friend along with Ron Gunter here in Clovis as the Hobbs Eagles come to town for their second district matchup against the 5-1 Wildcats. Of course, the Eagles coming in with a 4-1 record, suffering their first loss of the season at Tasker Arena this past week. Final score of that one at Roswell High, 68-58. Eagles had a couple of guys scoring in double digits in that game. Isaiah Lewis with 16 points and 4 rebounds. He was also pretty good on the free throw line, 8 of 11 for the charity stripe. Jalen Gore also dumped in 16 points. He had a couple of rebounds and 2 for 3 free throw shooting. Other than that, that was all the double-digit scoring, unless you want to take a look at Aaron Mora. Yes, he had a double-double once again. 12 points and 15 rebounds for the big center. He was also 2 for 2 from the line. So Aaron Mora definitely has been one of the mainstays in terms of the paint for the Eagles. Definitely cleaning up the boards for him and has had about, 3 now double-doubles for the season. Definitely going to need him here in this one against the Clovis Wildcats, who will be undersized in this ball game. Now, looking back at the Roswell contest, Eagles had some issues in terms of turnovers, 23 in that ball game, but they did cause 21 for Roswell. The problem was they were unable to shut down the coach's son, Taman Barola, who got him for 31 points. He was also 10 of 11 from the line and a couple of rebounds, too. So definitely was shutting him down. That would have been a whole different ball game. They had one other guy in doubles. That was Rhett Stokes with 16 points. In terms of free throw shooting, the Eagles were 18 of 30 for 60%. They actually out-rebounded Roswell 36-34 thanks to those 15 from Mora. Michael Mackey had 5, and Isaiah Lewis had 4 rebounds along with Ethan Van Landingham. So that's the telltale, was the turnovers really didn't help the cause very much. The other fact of the matter, too, is the Eagles were not having a good time with shooting from the outside. In fact, 27% was the number for the Hobbs Eagles in terms of shooting the basketball from the field. Definitely numbers that they need to improve on. and especially on a visiting court here in Clovis to try to even up their district record. Now, with a shortened schedule this year, most of the games are going to count and really matter to people that are making decisions about the playoffs are the district games. And they're just crossing their fingers they can continue to have these games. I know several area schools have had to start to shut down some teams for a couple of weeks. We won't speculate about that tonight because that's kind of a touchy issue at this point. But at the same time, you lose a couple of games, and those don't count on your record. So every game that you do play, you got to work hard for that W, which teams do anyway. But it's just kind of an added expectation for this season in terms of the playoffs. They're only taking one district champ, of course, from each district, and then there's going to be 3 wild cards from the state in the division to be added to that playoff mix. So very important. Each game does matter. You can always say, hey, we're going to play the team one more time. Well, again, they will get to play Clovis at Task Arena. And usually that's where the Eagles win bigger by double digits. Well, looking at what's gone on so far for the Clovis Wildcats, coming in with a 5-1 record. Their last game was against Carlsbad. They won that one by 11. That was here at Clovis, 44-33. Bryson Goldsmith and Elijah Garcia dumping in the big numbers for the Wildcats. They had 20 points apiece. They got some critical three-point shots in the third quarter to pull away in that one, and they went on a 12-4 run with 5 3-pointers. And that was a very important part of the game to kind of go into the big lead. They were up by 20 at that point and put the game away then. Carlsbad only had one double-digit score. That was Damian Perez. He finished up with 11 points. And just judging by that game, very speedy defense for this Clovis team. Got a lot of help side. They're making up for their lack of size by the speed. They'll get the guys on the other parts of the lane once they get beat, and they get people to step up for them. So that's something the Eagles are going to have to be taken care of. It's very hard to get stuff inside against this Clovis team because they will bring a lot of guys at you from different parts of the court. So guys like Aaron Mora, he's probably going to have to move up higher on the post to probably get some entry passes from the Eagles guards. And, of course, some drives to the outside. Three-point shooting will become a major aspect of this game. You can see that. But Hobbs is going to have to crash people hard because they're going to suck it down in the paint a little bit on defense for that Clovis Wildcat team. Some other games they played this season, they got the victory over Portales. Now, Portales, of course, a lower division team. It's right down the road, so you kind of count that as an arch rival. But that's a game that you're always kind of wondering if you're going to come out on top of. But they did get the win in that one as well, 53-44, a 9-point win. So that was their next to last game that they played. Now, to start the season, though, a lot of their games were tight. In fact, against the Goddard Rockets, they only beat them by 4, 67-63 to open the season. That went to double overtime. They also played Espanola Valley. They won them, beat them by 10 points. That was in overtime. And then another game in their top 4 games of the season against Artesia. They lost by 1 to the Bulldogs, 59-58. Now, that game was in Artesia, but you got to compare that to the Eagles, who got the 11-point victory at Tasker Arena. So kind of a question mark there. But, again, Artesia is a good ball club. Hobbs got their number at the home court, but still, you kind of wonder why Clovis lost by the point there. Artesia did manage to get 5 3-pointers in that game, which really helped their cause, so that was a definite plus. Hernandez ended up with 12 points for the Wildcats. Bryson Goldsmith, we mentioned him in that game against Carlsbad. He finished up with 11, and Elijah Garcia had 10. All 10 of Garcia's points were in the fourth quarter. So they've had wins against Goddard and Espanola Valley, both coming in overtime and double overtime. They also knocked off Texaco by 16, 50-34. And that was due to a 16-4 run in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, losing to Artesia, their only loss of the season. And they followed up with wins against Portales and Carlsbad. Wildcats, again, 5-1 on the season. The Hobbs Eagles are at 4-1. We're going to take a 90-second break. Get you ready for tip-off here at Rock Staubus Gym in Clovis. The Hobbs Eagles and the Clovis Wildcats live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. How long were you needing, Ty?
Go to the next break or run to the next spot, and we'll go.
All right.
How much is it?
I got 15 on this spot, so
That's good.
they'll come back after this one.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Clovis. The Hobbs Eagles on the road. Second district game of the season, sitting at 0-1 right now, and the Clovis Wildcats at 1-0 after defeating Carlsbad. Looking at the Eagles' top scorers so far this season, Jalen Gore averaging 17.2 a contest. He is also tops on the team with 12 three-pointers so far, and also a leader with assists at 4.8. That's an important number because he's not just a guy that's going to tank them off all the time. He also looks up court for the Eagles' offense. Also behind him, Aaron Mora with 13.4 points a game. Also a double-digit rebounder at 13.2. Very important numbers for the Eagles to keep the offense flowing. Michael Mackey is averaging 9 points a contest, and actually he's coming off the bench. Ramos with 9 points a ball game as well. Isaiah Lewis with 8.8 points a game. And Catre Morgan, who was not playing in the last contest against Roswell, he's averaging 9.3 a game. They're starting the national anthem here in Clovis. We will take another 60-second break.
You're clear. $30. $10. Three, two, one, go.
National anthem just wrapped up here at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis. The Eagles on the road to take on the Wildcats. Right before the break, talking about the top scorers and rebounders and assist men. One area the Eagles could see some improvement on is the turnover situation. They've had about 17.4 a ball game. But at the same time, 3 of their players are averaging over 2 steals a game. 2 for Jalen Gore, 2.2 for Ramos, and 2.8 for Mackey. The problem is all 3 of those guys have given up about 2.5 turnovers a game. So if they can get the steals a little bit up and those turnovers a little bit down, we're going to be in some good shape, especially with the typical Hobbs Eagle defense that we're used to seeing. Hobbs is shooting 41% from the field so far this season, 28% from three-point range, and 58% from the charity stripe. Hobbs averaging about 34 rebounds a game. As we mentioned, 17 turnovers and 13 steals. You could probably look around the whole state to try to find somebody that's close to those numbers. Definitely a thumbs up when it comes to tough pressure defense. I mentioned before the break, too, that Michael Mackey was coming off the bench. He will be a starter in this game, along with Jesus Ramos, Jalen Gore. Ethan Van Landingham is in the starting lineup. He's been very scrappy in the last couple of games. And, of course, the center post, Aaron Mora. Last year, these two teams split in the regular season. Hobbs winning at Tasker Arena in the first one, 75-59. Aaron Mora finishing with 16 points, 2 steals, and 3 rebounds. Jalen Gore, dumped in 10. Isaiah Lewis and Catre Morgan both had 2 points apiece. And in fact, there's only one player returning to this year's team from last year's Clovis squad, and he's not playing tonight. He has been scratched. That's Blake Moscato, so it's a brand new ball club, at least for varsity, here for the Wildcats. Hobbs lost their second game against Clovis on the road here at Rock Stoppers Gym last year by 67-56. Jalen Gore, the top Eagles scorer, with 14 points. Aaron Mora, 8 points, 6 rebounds. And Lewis got 5 points. Morgan with 4, and Michael Mackey ended up with 2. Hobbs had 8 3-pointers converted compared to 2 for Clovis and still had the loss here at Rock Stoppers Gym. The final game between the two teams is the district tournament championship in Hobbs. That was won by Clovis by 2, a very close ball game, 67-65, a breakout contest for Jalen Gore. 4 3-pointers and 21 points. Isaiah Lewis added 11. But last year's records, etc., don't matter because we got a game going on tonight. Hobbs has a few returners, and Clovis, nobody from last year's squad. We mentioned Blake Moscato, but he is not playing tonight. Very fast team is this Clovis Wildcats squad. We mentioned that'll make up for their size disadvantage. Hobbs wearing their black uniforms, white numbers, and the gold trim, and it's white home jerseys for Clovis with purple on top of that. You can pretty much expect that year to year. Ty Fred and Ron Gunner with you live in Clovis. It'll be the Hobbs Eagles basketball where Jesus Ramos will bring it across. 2-3 zone for Clovis. A one-hand bounce pass to Gore on the right wing. Sling it up top to Mackey. Mackey will back out near the timeline. Goes behind his back. Comes to the left side as he continues down the lane. A pass back door off the hands of Van Landingham. He lost it, and it's taken back by Clovis, but then Mackey in the paint to pick it up. Back door to Mora, and he puts it off the right glass for 2. Aaron Mora's first points. Both teams getting a turnover on those plays. Long pass up the near sideline. Taking the ball down for the Wildcats as Goldsmith throws up a 15-footer off the back of the rim. Rebound on the left block and getting stripped away from the hands of the Clovis Wildcats. Elijah Garcia, nice takeaway for the Eagles by Jesus Ramos for turnover number 2. He tries to drive down the far sideline, and they're going to call him for a carry. So both teams now with 2 turnovers early in this first quarter, but Hobbs up 2-0 thanks to Aaron Mora. Full court pressure defense as bringing it in is C.J. Gutierrez from the left baseline. Into Darrell Lewis. He'll take on Mackey. Mackey gets a piece of the ball in the court, picks it up off the dribble, tries to throw up a shot as he gets knocked to the floor over the top of his head on a scoop look. They're going to call the foul. Already 3 turnovers for the Wildcats. And already a chance for a couple of free throws here as they'll call that foul on Darrell Lewis, his first team foul. And that will put Mackey on the line this season shooting 56%. The team is 58% before this first throw and in and out on the first one. He'll get one more. Of course, Hobbs shooting 60% last week against Roswell. 18 out of 30. There was a total of 57 free throws shot in that game with Roswell. Second shot up and good for Mackey. 1 point for him. Hobbs up 3-0, their biggest lead so far in Clovis. In the backcourt on the near side is Lewis. Throws it across left to Garcia. Double team against him. Gets deflected. Mackey getting a good hand on it that time, and he was happy with himself. With a nice applause on that far sideline. It will go back to Clovis. Nice contest that time with the D for him and Gore. Inbound to the backcourt. Stop and go dribble now. Driving middle is Lewis. Kicks it off to the right wing. Couple of bounces and driving to the free throw line is Hernandez. And puts it off to the left side. Ball's bobbled for a second by Lewis. Picks it up. Returns it up top to Gutierrez. Hands up top to Garcia. Tries to go backdoor, and it sails out of bounds on the near sideline. Wildcats have coughed it up 4 times, 2 for the Hobbs Eagles. 3-0 Hobbs, 6:40 left first quarter. Second district game for both teams. Everyone matters in this COVID-shortened season. Across the timeline is for the Eagles is Mackey. Come around the right wing. What's his screen is coming to give it is Van Landingham. Beats 2 men down the court. On the right base, goes back door to Mora, and he lays it off the left side of the rim. Count it. 2 buckets now for Aaron Mora. 5-0, biggest lead for the Eagles. That's the way you want to start on the road at Rock Staubus. Coming across the timeline, far side. Stop and go. Goldsmith, cross court right to Gutierrez. Sends it back to reset to Garcia to the timeline to Lewis. Middle of the court. Unloads to Goldsmith on the right wing, guarded by Mora. Kicks it up top to Gutierrez around the left circle. The handoff to Lewis. Sends it up top again to Garcia. Coming from behind, right to left. Is Hernandez. To the left wing to Goldsmith. Drives the lane, hippity hop, fade away from the right elbow. Ball comes off the right rim, but they called the body foul on the Eagles. Little help side look for Hobbs that time. Looks like they called the foul on Jesus Ramos. Correction, that's Mackey, his first. First team foul against Hobbs. And wait to see if the official is going to call this on the floor in the shooting motion that time. It will be 2 shots for Bryson Goldsmith. Clovis trying to get on the board for the first time, and the first shot's up and good. 3-1, or make it 5-1. Hobbs by 4 with 5:51 remaining opening quarter. Couple of Hobbs Eagles pulling those masks up a little bit, try to get some airflow going on here. Second shot for Goldsmith is good, a swish. He got both of them. 5-2, Hobbs by 3 still. Inbound for the Eagles to Gore, uses it up and passes it up to the timeline to Ramos. Cross court right back to Gore, but it's taken away for Clovis. Going to the rack with it is Garcia to the left rim. Little windmill action off the glass, it scores. His first bucket, 5-4, Hobbs by 1. Gore's going to get some pressure in the backcourt on the near sideline by Gutierrez. Cross court right for the Eagles, over to Mackey. Mackey gives it back to Gore, double team on the far near side, make that. He tries to send it back to Mackey on the right wing, and it sails out of bounds behind him. The perimeter defense starting to get in the heads of the Hobbs Eagles. That's the 4th Eagle turnover. Both teams at 4 so far. Kind of a rickety start for the offenses. Inbound to Lewis in the backcourt to take on Mackey. Stop and go. Sends it across with a dip over to the near side to Hernandez. Up top to Garcia. Swing it left side to Lewis. Returns back to the timeline to Gutierrez. And coming to get on the right wing is Goldsmith. He's going to fire up a 3. Air ball and pulled down by Gore underneath the hoop. He'll take off on the transition dribble, his first rebound. Throws it ahead to Ramos with a lefty scoop shot, and he's fouled going up. Ball came off the iron, but he'll get 2. Clovis getting a little late getting back on the D that time on the transition. That'll be Elijah Garcia's first, second team foul against the Wildcats, and that will send Ramos to the line. Ramos shooting 72% this season from the charity stripe, second on the team behind Gore with 80%. Hobbs right now 1 of 2 as the first free throw on a little of a lean shot there for Ramos, gets it to go through. Eagles extend the lead to 2, 6-4. On the court for Hobbs on the substitution, Jaden Miller for Van Landingham. Also Tyler Box checks in for Mackey. And we had the Ramos lost the ball. He was dribbling and then kind of fell out of his hands and rolled up on the lane over to Gore. And Gore said, "What are you checking it to me for? That's a violation." So that'll go back over to Clovis. Ramos didn't know what happened on that. I don't know if his hands were slick or what the heck was the problem. Coming across is Goldsmith. A high pass almost lost by Lewis on the near side. Returns it back to Goldsmith at the time stripe. Taking on Box with a crossover to the left side. He wants a handoff to Garcia. Comes toward the timeline and gives it back to Lewis there in the Clovis Wildcat logo. Kicks it left to Goldsmith. Tough pressure D for the Eagles. Coming up to get it is Jaden Phillips on the right wing. Handoff to Lewis. Drives the paint. Spins at the free throw line. Kicks it down to the left corner to Garcia. Lost the ball for a second. Tough D by Box. Ricochet on the pass up to the timeline to Gutierrez. Able to recover and tip it out to Lewis on the right wing. Stop and go dribbles. He takes on Ronnie Ross, who just checked in, and sends it to the right wing to Goldsmith. Takes it to the rack. Reverse layup right to left. No good off the iron. Rebound on the near side for the Eagles. Here's Gore with his second board in the transition dribble. Stop and go. Left wing 15-footer. He's bodied into. Instead of shooting, tries to give it off to Moore on the left corner. They call the hip foul against the Wildcats. We'll see if they're going to say he was in shooting motion that time. That'll be the first on Gutierrez, third team foul against Clovis. And he'll send Gore to the charity stripe to shoot 2. Eagles are 2 for 4 from the line. We mentioned Gore is the top free throw shooter on the squad at 80%, and he swishes the first. Hobbs up by 3, 7-4. Their biggest lead has been 5 here in this first quarter. We got 4:05 remaining. Substitution for the Wildcats, Dominic Brown, as he comes in for Elijah Garcia. One more free throw for Jalen Gore. Hobbs up by 3. Second shot is good for Gore. He got both of them. 8-4. Eagles doubling up the Wildcats. 4:05 left first quarter. The inbound comes in to Brown with the jab step against Box. Sends it down to the near sideline to Lewis. Down low to the left block. Going up big with 2 hands and getting body to C.J. Gutierrez. Ball comes off the iron. But I think the body foul going to be called on Jaden Miller. Not in position that time and pays the price. So for him, that will be his first, second team foul. You can't wait on those. You got to get back quickly because this Clovis team has the speed. C.J. Gutierrez, first free throw is good. Wildcats perfect, 3 for 3 from the line. Now trail the Eagles 8-5. 3:57 left here in the first. Second shot for Gutierrez is up, and it is good as well. He got both of them. 8-6, quick inbound to Gore. Throws a long one down to Moore on the left block, fumbles it, but it's picked up for a second by the Eagles. Ronnie Ross tried to get a grip, but it's rolling off his fingers on the baseline for turnover number 5. Tyler Box, the one-man wrecking crew on defense in the backcourt, going to get some help from Gore. Looks like a 1-2-2 trap, throws it across the timeline to Garcia. Garcia will get it over to Brown. He puts a jump stop on it and returns to Lewis at the timeline. Taking on Ross to the left, unloads the basketball to the left side to Brown up top, hand off to Phillips, sends it to the right wing to Lewis. Dribbles through his legs to the right elbow. Kick it back up top to Gutierrez. Over to left wing to Garcia. Drives the lane. Mora steps up on D. Sends it back to the right wing. A fadeaway three out the front of the rim for Garcia. Rebound for Gore. Already Gore's third rebound underneath. An outlet to Mora, the big man. He's in the front court on the right wing. Up top to Box with a jab step. Finds Miller on the left wing. To the left corner to Ross. Sends it back up top to Gore to set up the offense. Stop and go. Shake and bake with the head move. Down low to Mora on the left block. He lays it in with the left hand. Aaron Mora with 6 points on 3 buckets. Eagles up by 4, 10-6. 2:54 left first quarter. Trap pressure again, 1-2-2. They'll zig it down to the left baseline at the other end for Clovis on the left side, but over the head of Gutierrez, got a piece of a finger on it, but it goes out of bounds for turnover number 5. 10 turnovers combined so far for the Eagles and the Wildcats. Hobbs with the 4-point lead. Van Lanningham returns as well as Mackey for the Eagles. Also on the court, Ross, Box, and Ramos. Inbound to Mackey, far sideline backcourt. Gives it back to Ramos. Sends it left wing to Van Lanningham. Across the timeline to Mackey. Drives the lane, gets punched out from behind. Nice defense. That's going to go out of bounds from behind Dominic Brown and made it to go off Mackey as it sails out. That'll be a turnover number 6. The push off to get open now for Jalen Hyman, who just checked in for the Wildcats. He'll bring the dribble up court on the near side. Double team with Mackey and Van Lanningham. Beats him across with a pass to Goldsmith. Jab step, crossover move, top of the arc. Underhands it back to the near side. Picked up by Hyman. To the top of the circle off the dribble. Comes around left side. Does up a high rainbow three. No good. Ramos rips it down from the right block and the outlet. Down court, overthrowing Mackey out of bounds on the baseline at the other end. It'll go out on the right side for turnover number 7. Eagles trying to get that transition game moving down there. Can't fault them for their speed, but unfortunately the passes aren't on target. The inbound on the near side to Hyman. Bounce pass to the timeline to Goldsmith to bring it across. Left wing. No-look pass, throws it behind Phillips in the left corner. Both teams getting a little bit too tricky so far. That's turnover number 6 for Clovis. Clock stop with 2:03 remaining, and both coaches are now starting to put a lot of subs in the ball game. The inbound to the far side for Ramos in the backcourt. One hands it across. Hard to Lewis. Drives the lane. Kick left to Van Lanningham, and he's trying to spin, and they're going to say he shuffled his pivot foot. That'll be a travel. 8 turnover for the Eagles. Another sub going to return as Jaden Phillips back on. 1:54 left, opening quarter, a 4-point Eagle lead. Brian Goldsmith to the ball. He'll bounce pass it to the near side. Backcourt to Hyman. Double team against him. Bounce it back to the timeline to Garcia. Dumps it back door to Goldsmith. Goes in through 2 defenders with a head fake. Eagles get him on the floor, though, before he goes up for a shot. So wait to see who they got this. A bunch of guys were in there at the same time. It looks like they're going to hit, for the Eagles, Jesus Ramos, his first, third team foul. And it'll be on the left baseline for the Wildcats. They'll send it back deep to the right wing. Jumping forward is Brown. Up top to Phillips. So jab step against Mora and backs it out to the timeline. Coming over to get it from him is Hyman. At the time circle, stripping him is Ramos. Late whistle, but they're going to call the reach. And Coach Reeves had a big tooth inside the ear of the official on that near sideline in front of the bench. A quick second foul for Jesus Ramos. 14th foul against the Eagles. Getting a little bit too aggressive. Tight up top. The inbound deep to the backcourt. Having to chase it down for the Wildcats is Hyman as he'll take on Gore. Stop and go on the far sideline. Spins, top of the arc. Underhands it to Goldsmith at the timeline. He'll come to the right side and hands off to Brown. Crossover move. Gore gets a piece of it as Brown will have to track it back at the timeline. Sends it right wing to Hyman. Fakes a three. Dumps it on the left wing to Garcia. Hippity hop down the lane. Lean shot. Ball comes off the iron. Long rebound for Mackey. Up midcourt. 2-on-3. Goes back door to Lewis. He'll pull out of it. Left corner. Sings it back to the free throw line for Van Lanningham and to Lewis at the stripe as well. He tries to bounce pass it to Mackey, but runs over his defender as he flattens Garcia coming down the lane. So Lewis will pick up the foul, his first, 15th foul, and the 9th turnover for the Eagles. 59 seconds left here in the opening quarter, 10-6 Eagles. And we had a sub come on the court after the ball had been actually passed in, and the referee's trying to retract that Clovis substitute that time. Almost could have got a technical on that one. As coming in too eagerly was Darrell Lewis. But they get him back to the bench. Inbound to Hyman in the backcourt deep. Gives it off to Goldsmith. Returns to Hyman, middle of the court, and to Goldsmith. Crossover move. Gets a triple team. Bounces it off the foot of Gore. Clovis recovers, shot from the left corner to Garcia off the back of the rim, and a rebound pulled down by Jaden Phillips for the Wildcats on the right wing. He gets the ball slapped out of his hands at the timeline, and taking the defense now is Mackey, one-on-one in the backcourt. Spinning was Hyman to the top of the arc. Bounce pass left wing to Brown. Tries to go baseline off the dribble. And they're going to call the body foul on the Eagles. Mackey getting his second personal and the 16th foul. Clock stops at 28.8 left opening quarter. Tyler Box returns for Hobbs. And for Clovis, Darrell Lewis. It'll be Clovis basketball right baseline. The bouncer coming into the left corner to Hyman. Pass it up top off the bounce to Goldsmith. Kick it right. Wide open is Phillips for three. A fadeaway and swish. Phillips puts down his first tray of the ball game, 10-9. Hobbs up by 1 with 15 seconds left. In the front court, a bad pass down the lane. Picked up, though, by Gore. Double team. Scoops it back on the right wing to Mackey. Or actually, that's Lewis. He's going to drive hard to the lane. Goes high off the glass and scores it. Counted. He got knocked to the floor. No call on that one, but Lewis puts it down for two, his first bucket. And that will end the first quarter of action. As the Hobbs Eagles lead by 3, 12-9 over Clovis here at Rock Stoppers Gym. We'll be back in 60 seconds on Cool 95.7, YouTube, and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Clovis. Ty Friend here with you. The Hobbs Eagles lead 12-9 as we start the second quarter. Clovis basketball. They've got 3 for Phillips, 2 apiece for Gutierrez, Goldsmith, and Garcia. Pass down the lane to Garcia. Hippity hop, goes up strong with it. They're going to say he traveled. Drug his feet a little bit too much on that one for turnover number 7. Eagles have 5 in the book so far, 6 for Aaron Mora, 2 apiece for Lewis and Gore, and 1 point apiece for Mackey and Ramos. Eagles out-rebounded Clovis 5-2 in the opening quarter. Hobbs, though, had 9 turnovers and 7 for the Wildcats. Foul count 6 for Hobbs, 3 for Clovis. Eagle basketball in the front court off the dribble. Lewis slides to the left, gives it off to Van Landingham. Kicks it up top to Gordon near the timeline. Fake to 3. Now he's going to dribble and shoot anyway. It goes in and out on the 3 on the right wing. Pulled down underneath by Bryson Goldsmith. His first rebound. Comes down the lane at the other end off the dribble. Didn't know if he wanted to take it up or pass to the corner here on the right, but he fumbles the ball and stumbles it out of bounds. That's the 8th Clovis turnover. Eagles by 3. 7:20 left here in the second. Coming across the timeline is Gore. Finds Lewis on the right wing. Double team. Up top to Box. Swing left to Gore. NBA 3. Rainbow off the back of the rim. A battle underneath for the rebound and chased down by Gore. Top of the arc. That's his 4th board. Dribbles to the right corner. Spins out of it. And he steps on the far sideline. 10th turnover for the Eagles. So Gore leading the team with 4 of the 6 boards so far. Remember, we mentioned in the pregame show as well, he leads the team in assists at 4.8, so he's not just a three-point shooter. He's got a lot of other stats to add to the cause. Here come the Wildcats. Lewis will get it off in the right front court as he unloads to Hernandez. Top of the circle off the dribble. Sends it over to left wing to Lewis. The Eagles are matchup zone now. Coming off to get it on the right side is Goldsmith. Bounces up top. Pass off to the free throw lines, taken away by Van Landingham. Saved by Moore at the baselines that came off his hand and picked up by Gore. That'll be Clovis's night turnover. Gore in the front court, top of the circle. Finds Box left wing, down to Lewis in the left corner off a jab step. Tries to dump it low to Mora. It's knocked back to him. Up top to Box, wide open for a 3 off the back of the rim. Chased down on the near sideline for the Wildcats by Lewis. Has a man wide open on the left side of the rim for the layup. And converting is Juan Hernandez for his first bucket. 12-11, Hobbs by 1. 6:15 left, opening quarter. Gore in the front court. 2-3 zone for the Wildcats. Comes to the near side, a screen from Van Landingham. Bounce past a box on the right wing. No look pass down the lane. Taken away in the midair by Garcia, turnover number 11. Sends it ahead on the right side. Driving the lane is Hernandez. Misses the righty layup. Tipped over the front of the rim by Garcia. And that's the bucket for 2. And a second rebound. Timeout Eagles. Clovis is starting to get out in the transition game. Hobbs getting beat back on that one. 13-12 Clovis. We'll be back in just 30 seconds live on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Okay. $15, 10, 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
Back here at Rock Staub's Gym, Ty Friend and Ron Gutters. The Hobbs Eagles trail for the first time, 13-12 in the second quarter. Eagles called a timeout. In case you're running the history of the games here at Rock Staub's Gym with the Eagles and the Wildcats, the highest score for Hobbs goes back to 1977-78. Eagles defeating Clovis 115-84. That was a 31-point win. The highest score for Clovis here on their home court was in 2001. Hobbs 112, Clovis 113, a total of 225 points. And the lowest score for Hobbs here at Rock Staub's Gym was 51 back in 2010 and 11, losing 80-51 to the Wildcats. Gore comes across the timeline after the inbound. They're going to call an illegal screen on the right wing as Van Landingham put a hip into the man that time, which was Elijah Garcia. So Van Landingham with his first 17th foul. That won't be a shooting situation on a team control foul. And that will be the 12th turnover for the Eagles. Tyler Box will take a seat. Mora's in the game, and just checking in as well, Jaden Miller, Isaiah Lewis, Van Landingham, and Gore. A couple officials having a discussion here on the near side. I think they might have been making sure who the number was on that one. I think they might have just changed the Ethan Van Landingham. No, it is 42, so one foul on him. 7-3 foul count at this point as Clovis will bring it across after the inbound. They'll give it off to the left wing, drive in the middle of the lane. Garcia, high arching shot, double clutch, no good. Mora pulls down the air ball. That's his first rebound. Outlet to the near side, stop and go for Gore to the left corner of the front court. Double team, bounce pass to Mora on the left block, and they knock it out of bounds to the Wildcats. In the passing lane was Juan Hernandez with the quick hands. Eagles will be right of the rim, underneath their hoop. Lewis is eager to get the ball. Ref took a little second to get it to him. He wanted to reach out and grab it out of his hands there. Lewis will get it in left block to Van Landingham. Good head fake, fade away from the free throw line off the back of the rim. Mora goes up big on the right block and shot puts it through over 2 defenders. Mora now with 8 points, leading the Eagles in 2 rebounds. 14-13, the Eagles back up by 1. 5:15 left first quarter. Here come the Wildcats. Front court is Hernandez off the dribble on the left wing. Gore will step out on him on the far side. Pass off, ricocheting off Garcia's chest, is able to recover it. Bounce pass it backdoor on the give and go to Gutierrez. He lays it in with the scoop on the left wing. Kind of a broken play that time, but he has his 4th point. Back to a 1-point Clovis lead, 15-14. Pass to Lewis at the other end, comes down the lane, double clutch, high over the arc, and they're going to call the block foul. He got chested up that time by Elijah Garcia. They'll count the basket as well. And waiting to see who they're going to call this against. It looks like charge to Elijah Garcia, his second 4th foul. So that'll be a chance for a 3-point play for Lewis. He's got 4 points. Now we're having a discussion here. One referee counted it, the other one said no. And now all 3 refs are getting together. Isaiah Lewis trying to be the 4th zebra. He's saying count it. Now they're going to call back to, they broke their meeting, now they're back together again. At least 2 of the refs are at the free throw line. So they are going to count it. The discussion was whether or not the ball had actually been shot after the foul came. Now the other 2 refs are having to talk about it. I think there's a little bit of maybe a debate going on here. So they will count the basket finally for Lewis, a chance for that 3-point play. Eagles are 4 of 6 from the line for 67%. They have a 1-point lead and trying to add to that with the free throw for Lewis. Clovis's biggest lead has been 1 point. Hobbs with 5 in the first quarter. Lewis's free throw is a swish. He's got 5 points. He came into this game shooting 64% from the stripe. Hobbs up by 2, 17-15. 4:53 left, second quarter. On the baseline, the inbound for the Wildcats is Hernandez. Passes in and gets it back on the far side. Bounce it back to Lewis. Again to Hernandez. Stop and go up the far sideline left behind his back. Miller guarding him. Gives it back deep, top of the circle to Lewis. He'll back it up against Mackey at the timeline. Kicks it right to Gutierrez, guarded by the Eagles defender Ross. Bounce pass top of the circle to Lewis. Swing it left side, Hernandez with a jab step. Gorgeous going to slide with him, top of the arc. Unloads left wing to Brown, guarded by Mackey. Good D by the Eagles, right pressure D all the way. He's pivoting, 5-second count is on. Almost got it on the violation. Up top to Hernandez with a spin move, sends it left wing. Brown goes with a 15-footer and nails it. So Brown puts 2 down for the Wildcats, his first bucket, 17-17. We're tied here in the second. Mackey has it across the timeline, gives it off to Miller right wing. High arching pass back to the timeline to Gore, fakes a 3. Runner shot from the left elbow off the dribble, no good. Miller gets a rebound, but it's stripped out of his hands as he takes it to the rack. Taken away by Hernandez, down the lane, left side, shot from close distance, off the left glass, no good. Rebound underneath by Phillips, kicks it back to the top of the arc. 3 on the way, it's no good for Gutierrez, and a rebound by Darrell Lewis on the top of the circle. Bounce pass deep to the timeline to Gutierrez. He'll slice it down the lane to Dominic Brown. Fade away on the little semi-hook coming around the left rim. It looks like Mora got a piece of the arm that time. So Aaron Mora picks up his first 18th foul against the Eagles. That'll send Dominic Brown to the line. He's yet to shoot a free throw, but the Wildcats as a team, 4 for 4 from the stripe. And they'll have a chance to break the tie here at 17 all. 3:30 left, second quarter. First shot for Brown is good. He's got 3 points, all coming in the second quarter. Tyler Box gets back on the court as Miller will take a seat. And back on for the Wildcats, Jalen Hyman. 1 point Wildcat lead. Again, the Wildcats were 2-1 last year against the Eagles. Second shot is good. Brown got them both. He's got 4 total. 19-17, biggest lead for Clovis, just 2 though. Inbound to Mackey in the backcourt. Spin move, gives it back deep to Gore. Across the timeline to the left wing to Ross. Ross down the lane to Mackey. Hippity hop to the lane and goes over the right glass on the reverse. Count it. Michael Mackey's got 3. Tied up at 19. 3:10 left, first half. Bounce pass to the far side on the inbound. Hernandez sends it back to Hyman. Cross court left, catching it is Phillips on the left wing. Coming behind him for the handoff is Hernandez. Dribbling behind his back against Box. Zigs it back to the timeline to Hyman. Again to Hernandez on the left wing. Top of the arc. Pass off to Hyman. To the right side. Stop and go for Gutierrez. Top of the circle. Off to the left elbow. A pivot for Hernandez. Double team. Ball knocked out of his hands momentarily by Ross. Dribbles to the left corner to the baseline and fumbles it off his knee. Ross slid with him the whole time. Top of the circle. Down to the left corner. And played some aggressive D to get the turnover. That'll be 10 now for the Wildcats. Hobbs trying to break the tie at 19 with 2:40 left, second quarter. Here comes Mackey. He'll come across the timeline on the dribble as he takes on Goldsmith, top of the circle, a 1-3-1 zone now. Make it a 1-2-1 or 1-2-2, and they change out of it. Top of the circle, the jump stop. Over to Moore on the left wing, comes down the lane, gets bumped into, squeezed between 2 defenders, lost the ball as it goes out on the baseline. He thought he might have got a foul call there, but didn't get himself situated enough to show the officials that he was being the one knocked around instead of bouncing into the defenders. So that will be the Eagles' 13th turnover. Trap pressure defense, the ball thrown high across the timeline, complete to Goldsmith. Kicks it down left corner, 3 on the way for Nora, and he's wide open for the tray. Count it right through the net. First bucket for him, second tray for the Wildcats. They're up by 3. Going to the other end is Gore. He's trying to take it all the way to the rack on the right side. He runs over his defender, doing a little bit too much that time, up against the big Jaden Phillips football player, and the charge. That'll be the first on Gore, 19th foul, and the 14th turnover. Clovis up by their biggest lead of 3 here in the second with 2:05 remaining, 22-19. Give and go, coming down the lane is Hyman, sinks it over to the left corner, 3 on the way for Nora, again no good. Rebound underneath by Ross. Sends it ahead to Moore on the right wing front court. He takes a few dribbles and returns to Gore at the timeline. Clock to 150. Gets a screen on the left side by Mackey. Fires up a 3, does Gore. In and out, no good. Rebound on the right block. Ripped down by Phillips, his third. Outlet right to the half court, taken by Mackey for the 11th turnover. Sends it down to Mora on the left block. He tries to do a little hook shot right between two defenders, gets it blocked out of bounds by Phillips. Eagle ball on the right baseline. No harm, no foul on that one. Inbounding will be Gore. Checks it back to box left wing to Gore, wide open left corner. He's got a three to himself off the back of the rim. Rebound by Box at the free throw line. Tries to dribble down the paint. They're going to say he shuffled his feet. We got a bunch of Hobbs Eagle coaching staff jumping off the bench. Coach Martinez, Coach Reese thought he got shoved that time. They called the travel. That's a 15th turnover. 1:30 left in the half. In the hands of Phillips. The correction, that is now Garcia getting the handoff. Sends it to the timeline left to Hyman. Back to Phillips as he comes across. Don't look past the right wing to Nora. Up top of the circle off the dribble. Dangerous throw up top to Goldsmith. Almost stolen by Box. Box tried to recover after getting off step, and then he bumped into him and picks up the foul. That'll be his first and the 10th team foul. Mackey and Ramos both have 2, and there are actually 6 other players with 1 foul apiece for the Eagles. Goldsmith is perfect on the line, 2 for 2, as such is the Wildcat team. They are 6 of 6 on the charity stripe. First free throw, a brick off the back of the rim. I guess I should keep continuing to remind them about their good numbers on the line. Kind of hex Goldsmith on that one. Returning for Hobbs, Ramos. He's got to be careful with those 2 fouls. Taking a seat is a tenacious defender, Ronnie Ross. Second shot is up, and it's rolling around, no good. Chased down by Ramos at the free throw line, his second board. Sends it ahead to Gore, drives the right lane, tries a reverse slam, but somebody slaps the ball out at the last second. They're going to call the foul on that one. Referee going to give them the benefit of the doubt as they call the foul against the Wildcats. Bryson Goldsmith, his first, 15th foul. And they're going to call that on the floor. Inbound to Gore on the left corner. Triple threat, drives to the left elbow, shot on the way on the fade, no good. On the left block for the rebound for the Wildcats is Jaden Phillips, his 4th. Outlet to the middle of the court, coming up with it is Hyman. Stop and go against Box in the front court to the free throw, or make it the top of the arc. Coming back to get it for the Wildcats is Goldsmith. Dribbles once and stops. Coming back over on the right side for the pass is Brown. Deep bounds Lewis on the right wing, drives the lane, underhands it to left block, leaning and shooting on the sidewinder hook. Jaden Phillips scores off the glass. He's got 5. Biggest lead for Clovis is now 5. 24-19 here with 30 seconds left, second quarter. In the front court is Gore, top of the arc. One hands it to Box on the right wing. Bounce pass to Mora, right block. Spins, leans, shoots off the front of the rim. That called the foul on the floor. He got sandwiched in between 2 defenders that time, did Mora. See which of the 2 purple and whites are going to get on this one. It looks like it'll be charged to Darrell Lewis, his second, 16th foul. Eagle ball on the left baseline with 25 seconds left and a 5-point deficit. Ramos trying to find somebody out to check it back deep. Coming to get it is Gore on the far side with 20 seconds left in the half. Stop and go, guarded closely by Goldsmith. Coming to get it is Mackey on the right side. Returns the Gore near the timeline. Down to 15. He's holding it, screen from Ramos, crossover. Dumps it to the right wing to Box. Spots up an NBA 3 off the back of the rim. Ball loose, chased down by Ramos in the corner left, his 3rd. Drives it to the right baseline. They call the charge. He leaned into the big kid, Jaden Phillips, and Phillips went flat to the floor. So for Ramos, that's his 3rd personal, 11th team foul. That'll be the 16th turnover as well. 2.5 seconds left here in the first half, a 5-point Clovis lead. They just underhanded in to run the clock out, and that will end the first half of action. The Hobbs Eagles trailing by 5 at the end of the first, 24-19. We'll take a 3-minute break and come back live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube.
You're clear. Minute and a half. One minute. $30. Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to halftime here in Clovis. Ty Friend along with Ron Gunter and Evie Stuber back at the station tonight as the Hobbs Eagles trailing by 5, 24-19. Hobbs was up in the first quarter 12-9, but were outscored 15-7 in the second, thus the 5-point Clovis lead at the half. Let's take a look at the point production in the first half of action. Top scorer for Clovis with 5 points, Jaden Phillips. He hit one of the 2 trays for the Wildcats and also had 4 rebounds. Bunch of guys with 4 points apiece. Dominic Brown, he went 2 for 2 from the stripe. Elijah Garcia with 4 points on a couple of buckets. C.J. Gutierrez had 4 with a 2 for 2 free throw shooting. Also scoring in the first half, Bryson Goldsmith. He had 2 points. It was 2 for 4 from the line. And Juan Hernandez hit a bucket for 2. Also should mention R.J. Nora hitting the other 3-pointer. He's got 3 points in the first half. 7 scorers in the book so far for the Clovis Wildcats. Now they were out-rebounded by the Eagles 13-9. Jaden Phillips, though, with 4 boards for the Wildcats. He is the leader. Lewis and Garcia both have 2. Clovis shot 6 of 8 from the charity stripe for 75%. And they had a total of 11 turnovers in the first half. On the side of the coin for the Hobbs Eagles, getting close to double digits, Aaron Mora, 6 of his 8 points coming in the first half, or first quarter, I should say. He does have 8 and 2 rebounds so far. 5 for Isaiah Lewis. He was 1 for 1 from the line on a 3-point play. Michael Mackey had 3 points, went 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Jalen Gore hit a couple of free throws, went 2 for 2 and 2 points. Jesus Ramos was 1 of 2 from the line for 1 point. Eagles have only had 5 scores in the first half. Their top rebounder, Jalen Gore, with 4, 3 for Jesus Ramos, 2 for Mora, and Ross Miller and Mackey have each got 1 apiece. Eagles again about rebounded Clovis 13-9. Hobbs 5 of 7 from the charity stripe for 71%. And in terms of the turnovers, they've had 16, again compared to 11 for the Clovis Wildcats. The foul situation right now, which will be pretty much cleared out as we start second half, Hobbs had 11 fouls, the Clovis Wildcats with 6. We're going to take another 2-minute break, get you caught up on some Lee County scores and other scores around the area. Stay with us. You're listening live to Hobbs Eagle basketball trailing 24-19 to Clovis. We'll be back again in 2 minutes.
You're clear. How much do you need?
2 minutes, please.
Thank you. 1 minute. Thirty. $15. $5. 3, 2, 1, go.
Back at halftime here at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis as the Hobbs Eagles trail the Wildcats 24-19. Some scores coming in from around the area. Thanks to Ron Gunner on these. Carlsbad leading Roswell at the half 28-20. So big lead there for the Carlsbad Cavemen. They outscored Roswell 15-5 in the second quarter to get that lead. So that's a pretty nice job going on there. That is in Carlsbad tonight. Also going on closer to home, the Lovington Wildcats have a lead over Goddard at halftime, 35-34. That'd be a nice little win there for the Wildcats, picking up that one over the Rockets. In girls action right now at halftime, the Hobbs Lady Eagles thrashing Clovis 40-6. And the Lady Eagles were up 24-2 in the first quarter alone, added 16-4 in the second quarter to get that big 34-point lead. Loving and Tatum are also played tonight as well, and we'll keep you updated on all the other contests we can get a hold of in this Friday night of action. Also, in case you were wondering about the series with these Hobbs boys against the Clovis Wildcats, in terms of the record, the Hobbs Eagles have the upper hand, 139 wins and 46 losses against the Wildcats. Thanks to Rick Shedd. If you ever get a chance to purchase that book of his, By the Numbers, it has all the history and stats you can imagine. Definitely something to take a look at. I know Ron Gunter loves that as a resource. It also keeps me on my toes when it comes to stats of the past and to keep the Hobbs Eagles in the front of your mind at all times. So, again, that's By the Numbers, Rick Shedd, the author of that book, and he's had a couple of editions of that. Definitely something we rely on big time with our productions here for Hobbs Eagle basketball. Got about 30 seconds left before the second half gets underway as the Clovis Wildcats are leading 24-19. Also want to say hi to Jitter back in Hobbs. I know he's working hard at the Hobbs Lady Eagles game there at Tasker Arena. That man has been doing the job, 45 years? I never get the number right. Every time I ask him, he always adds 3 years to it, and because he's right, I'm not. But, again, make sure those girls continue to win there at Tasker tonight. Jitter. We're going to keep it right here as the Eagles are first on the court. Again, they led in the first quarter 12-9, so definitely want to try to get that lead back as quick as possible. Also like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle basketball this season, TDS, Lee County State Bank, A-Tech Air Conditioning, Thriftway Grocery, Forest Tire, Bobby Shaw Realty, First American Bank, Lasco Construction, Gateway Insurance Financial, Devon Energy, and Robinson & Associates. It will be Hobbs basketball to start this third quarter as they trail 24-19. The inbound comes to Mackey's. He brings it across the timeline up against Goldsmith. Hippity hop to the left wing. Uses up his dribble, looking for help. Coming to get it is Ramos, top of the circle. He'll back it out to the timeline. Gets a screen right from Mora. Bounce it back to Mora on the give and go there. He misses a little push shot on the right rim. Picked up for the Eagles. Van Landingham with a fadeaway from the right block. He's pushed backward for the foul. He'll get that one against Darrell Lewis. That's already his third personal. That is the first team foul against the Wildcats. Van Landingham to try to get his first points of the ball game. Comes into the contest shooting 33%, and the first one rims out no good. Eagles are now 5 of 8 from the charity stripe, or 71% during halftime. Ethan will get one more here. Trying to chip away at the 5-point deficit. Second shot is hard off the back of the rim, taken down underneath by Goldsmith. That's his second rebound. Stop and go dribble. Tries to send it across, a little touch pass to the right side to Hernandez. But right in the passing lane was Van Landingham to punch it out of bounds. Inbound quickly for Clovis, top of the circle, front court to to Hernandez. Spins himself, top of the circle. Finds Goldsmith on the left wing. Returns up top once again, Hernandez. Quick pass to the right side. Faking a three is Garcia. Gives it right back top of the circle to Hernandez. Drives the lane. Has a man open left corner. Pass though instead to Goldsmith on the left wing. 1-2 and up on the shot. Rims out, no good. Rebound for Mora underneath. And Mora, of course, continues ripping down. He's got 3 boards. Goes down low to Ramos. Misses a lefty layup. And rebound on the right baseline for the Wildcats by Goldsmith. Sends it ahead on the left wing to Hernandez. Backdoor coming up down the lane as Hyman misses a push shot. Long rebound for Gore going to the other end. Down low to Mora, right block, give and go back to Gore, misses the shot, and a rebound for the Wildcats. In transition is Hernandez. Comes down the lane from right to left, tries to throw the ball up over the top of his head. As he's going towards the baseline, is fouled over the top. Ball not coming close to the rim, but a push foul from behind for the Eagles. So that'll be free throw opportunities as they'll charge that one to Mackey, his third, and the first team foul here in the second half. 2 shots here for Hernandez. Is off the front of the rim on the first one. Clovis now 6 of 9 for the charity stripe for 66.67% for all you mathematicians out there. One more free throw opportunity here for Hernandez. Has 2 points so far. Big knee bend, shots up, and it's bouncing off the rim again. No good. Rebound for Ramos on the left block. He's off to the races on the drive. 4 boards for him, and he scoops it all the way to the hole on the left side. Sliced right through the lane that time. Ramos now with 3 points and 4 rebounds. 24-21. Cats still by 3, though. Hernandez will chuck it over to the left wing to Goldsmith in the backcourt. To the front side to Garcia, left side. He'll return it back to the timeline to Goldsmith. Stop and go. Van Landingham riding him all the way down the lane. Reverse layup on the left, off the back of the iron. Put down by the left block and going up strong is Gutierrez, but he's rejected hard. Nice swat by Van Landingham to the wall. Will be Clovis basketball on the left baseline, leading by 3. Quick inbound to the right wing. Hyman spins, gives it back to the right side again to Goldsmith. Top of the arc. One-hander to Hernandez. He'll back it out to the timeline, guarded by Van Landingham. To the left wing, crossover move. Back deep to reset to Goldsmith. Pivoting against Mackey, who's tough pressure. Underhands it to the right wing to Hyman. Not getting much rotation on this passing game right now. One-hand bouncer to the left wing in front of the coach. Hissler, Hernandez, but a steal by Ramos in transition now. He'll take it to the rack with a double clutch and scores off the right side, off the glass. That'll be a turnover for Clovis, which is their 12th. And for Ramos, put a total now of 5 in the book for him. 24-23, down to a 1-point lead for Clovis. In the front court off the pass is Goldsmith, top of the circle. On the left side to catch it is Hyman. Sends it back deep to the timeline to Hernandez. Very patient offense, but not getting much attack. Down the left block, hippity hop for Garcia. Double clutch over the front of the iron and puts it through. Garcia now with 6 points. A 3-point Clovis lead. Quickly, the Eagles in the front court. Gore up top to Mackey. Mackey trying to set up the offense. Comes to the right elbow, pivots, gives it off to high post left to Mora. Mora over to Van Landingham, right of the free throw line. He pivots towards the hoop. Looking for somebody to cut. Spins. Shot taken from 10 feet outside the paint. Air ball, and it's rolling out on the baseline. Didn't get the follow-through he wanted that time. Was kind of wondering where his teammates were on the cuts. Nobody was going to the basket that time, and started to shoot at the last second. Clovis basketball. Comes into Hernandez's left side. Bounce pass across the timeline, taken back by Van Landingham. Turnover number 13 for the Wildcats. Up ahead to Gore, left wing. Double clutch coming down the left side of the paint. It goes off the glass, count it, and the foul. Jalen Gore now with 4 points. Chance for that 3-point play. They'll get the foul on Garcia. That's his 3rd personal, 2nd team foul. That'll put Gore on the line. He's 2 for 2. I thought the official said count that one. He put his hand down in a count motion. I guess not. So he'll get one more, though. 26-23. Jalen Gore, 2 for 3 from the charity stripe. He's got 4 points. Takes 3 dribbles. Shots up and goods. 26-24. Clovis by 2. 4:33 left here in the third. Inbound to the deep left corner. Hyman getting a double team with Box and Ross. Bad pass right to Gore. Goes down the lane with the scoop. He spat at the last second, had his wrist taken off. A chance for 2 free throws once again. And they get that one on Dominic Brown. Desperation foul. That's his first, 3rd team foul. And here goes Gore to the line. Jalen Gore. 3 for 4 from the line, 75%. Swishes this one. He's got 6 points. Looks like a substitution for the Eagles coming on court now, Jaden Miller. And Gore makes both of his free throws. Now with 7 points, 26-26. Eagles have tied a double team going on and a late whistle as Ramos and Ross had their man completely surrounded deep right corner of the backcourt. Hunched over was Dominic Brown, and Ramos and Ross converged on him. And they called the foul on Ramos that time, and he's got to be careful. That's his 4th personal, I believe. Yes, 4 on him. He's going to have to come out on the sub, and they caused almost a turnover again as fumbling it around for just a second was Goldsmith back in that deep right corner, but it was knocked out by Ross. Clovis going to go with the touchdown, throw to the other end, caught on the left block, and holding on to it for a second to get the teammates up is Phillips. Hands it off down the lane to Brown. He'll return it up top to reset to Goldsmith. NBA 3, wide open and drills it home. 3rd tray for the Wildcats. They've got 5 for him. Goldsmith. In the front court is Gore. Eagles down by 3. Up top to Lewis, who just checked in. Sends it left wing. Driving the lane is Ross. Scoop on the right is rejected with 2 hands in the air. Off the fingertips of Bryson Goldsmith. Rolls out here on the left baseline. It'll be Hobbs basketball. Down by 3, 29-26. 4 minutes remaining here in the 3rd. Inbound comes to box, middle of the paint. Spins, kicks out right to Miller. Fires up a 3 in the corner off the back of the iron. Rebound at the free throw line for the Wildcats. Pulled down by Phillips. That's his 5th. He throws it back deep and gets it back from Hyman. And coming back to the timeline to pick it up is Goldsmith. Guarded by Box in the front court now. Handoff from left to right. As dribbling through his legs is Hyman. Sends it to the top of the circle to Gutierrez. One hand bouncer to the left wing to Hyman. Stripped away by Ross. It gets it to go off the leg of Hyman. Right in front of the Clovis bench on the near sideline for a turnover. That's the 14th turnover for the Wildcats. Quick official timeout there as a Clovis Cat was taking care of his shoelace. C.J. Gutierrez. Hobbs basketball. Gore will bring it across the timeline. Guarded by Gutierrez. High pass to Ross at the free throw line off his fingertips. Taken away by the Wildcats. That'll be the Eagles' 17th turnover. And they have a man wide open up ahead. A lefty layup put through the hole for Goldsmith. He's got 7. A 5-point Clovis lead, matching their biggest of the game. In the front court, Gore handing off to Miller. Drives the free throw line. High arching shot. Down the runner. And he's going to go off the back of the rim with it, but he is fouled going up. So that'll be a foul on the Wildcats. Picking up their 2nd is C.J. Gutierrez. 4th on the Cats. And a chance for Miller to shoot 2. This is his first trip to the line. Miller is 50% on the season from the charity stripe. First shot is up and good. Miller gets his first point. 6 players have scored for the Eagles. And 7 for the Wildcats. One more for Miller. Is up, bouncing around the rim, and no good. Ripped down underneath by Goldsmith, his 4th rebound. Outlet to the far sideline across the timeline to the big kid again, Phillips. Got it stripped by Mr. Ross. Goes to the rack, going high off the left glass, and is fouled. Ball came off the rim, but he gets a chance for 2 free throws. That will be Clovis's 15th turnover. And they'll get another foul on Dominic Brown, his 2nd, 15th foul. 31-27, Clovis by 4, pinning the free throws from Ronnie Ross. First chance on the line tonight. He is 43% on the season. First shot's off the front of the rim, no good. And boy, he's been hustling out there on the defense. A lot of double teams in the backcourt for the Hobbs Eagle press. One more for Ross, trying to get it down to a 3-point ball game. Takes his 3 dribbles, shots up, and it's a swish. Ross 1 for 2 from the line. 31-28 Clovis, 2:52 left, 3rd quarter. Inbound to the baseline, brought up is Goldsmith. Sends it to the far sideline to Hyman. Tries to thread it down the needle, down the lane, and taken away by Gore. Turnover number 16. Gore in the front court, shot from the left elbow. Pop a shot through the net. Gore rips it through. He's got 9. 31-30. A ricochet on the inbound, deep right corner for Gutierrez. It's up in the air. Gore takes it away and lays it in for two on the left glass. That's turnover number 17 as Gore now picks up another bucket. Eagle fans and the bench are ecstatic as they've come back to get this a lead now, 32-31 here in the third quarter with 2:25 remaining. We'll take a 30-second break and come back on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
I got you. Are you in a timeout?
Yeah.
How long do you need?
30.
Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
32-31, Hobbs with the lead after pressure defense and another turnover just after a Clovis timeout. The bounce from the baseline right to the Hobbs Eagle bench in the backcourt on the near sideline for turnover number 18. Boy, the Eagles pressure, the double teams working hard on the press. Eagle ball on the left baseline underneath their hoop. Miller to inbound. Back door to Ross. Fade away. Over the rim, air ball, but a rebound underneath for the Clovis Wildcats by Brown. His first. He tries to dribble up the far sideline and runs into a wall box. And Box gets the foul, unfortunately. That's his second team foul on the Eagles. Clock's to 2:19 left, third quarter. Hobbs up by 1, 32-31. Eagles were down at halftime, 24-19. Inbound to the backcourt, spinning with the dribble is Hernandez. Double team on the near left corner. Throws it to midcourt to Brown. Throws it across. It's loose. Picked up on the left block. And going up with a lefty and scoring is Phillips. He barely got that ball as it rolled up to him. That's 7 for him. Broken play for the Wildcats. They lead by 1, 33-32. 2 minutes left, third quarter. Lewis in the front court. Cross court left. Over to Miller. Drives baseline. Tries to sling it in the lane behind Ross, though. Taken away by the Wildcats for turnover number 18. And a dribble towards the timeline for the Cats for Hernandez. He's fouled. So for Hobbs, that will be their third team foul. And they'll charge. To Hernandez across the timeline. Left wing, top of the circle, dribbling through his legs. Leading by 1 over the Eagles. Coming back to get at the timeline is Dominic Brown with the lefty dribble. Bounce pass in the paint, stripped away momentarily. Mackey on the floor with it, and there's a jump ball. And the arrow is going to be looking, let's see where we're going to go with it. Looks like Clovis has retained possession. Mackey really didn't have control of it, so it wasn't actually a turnover quite yet. He was still trying to get a piece of it, and the arrow saves the Wildcats from a turnover. So Hobbs was trailing at the half 24-19. And right now lead 32-33. So it's been a 13-9 run for the Eagles here in the third quarter. Passing to the front court, top of the arc is Hernandez on the spin. One hand bouncer to the right block to Phillips. Pivoting, going to the rack with it against two defenders. He shuffle steps. They call the offensive elbow there. He's a big football player, and he really shoved that one out. Thought he had him to travel first, but they'll take the foul. A little bit better for the Eagles anyway. Second on Phillips. Crowd is booing that one, though. 16th foul against the Wildcats. 6-4 foul total at this point for the Eagles' benefit. Pass comes to Gore in the half-court area. Gets it back of a pass from Lewis. Back door to Miller. Misses the righty layup. Put back up for Ross over the front of the rim as he leans with two hands. Ross now with 3 points and 2 rebounds. All 3 of his points in the third quarter. Eagles by 1, 34-33. Breaking the press is Hernandez coming down the lane. Does up a shot as he gets hit. Kind of just flicked it up with double hand look from the left block, and they call the foul. The foul will be charged to Mackey. That's a bad one for him. His 4th, 15th foul. And putting it through was Hernandez. He's got 4 points. He'll get a chance for a 3-point play. Aaron Mora is going to come in now for Mackey, who's got to leave with those 4 fouls. 52 seconds left, third quarter. Clovis back up by 1, 35-34. Hernandez on the line. He's 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. Shot is up, and it is in and out, no good. Ball tipped around and pulled down by Phillips. Turnaround Jay in the paint of the right block, no good. Underneath the hoop is Ross for his third rebound. Outlet far side to Miller, back to Ross on the handoff. Tries to throw it back door, but it's taken out of the air for the Wildcats. Ripped up by Hyman, and then he's tied up quickly for the jump ball. That's the Eagles' 19th turnover. Jump ball is going to go back to Hobbs, though, so count that as a turnover as well for the Wildcats off the alternating possession arrow. And Eagles will have it just ahead of the scorers table on the near sideline front court. The big kid Phillips will take a break as checking in for him is R.J. Nora. Miller waiting for the inbound. In front of the Hobbs Eagle bench near sideline. Front court, up top to Gore. Dribbles to the left wing. Backdoor alley-oop to Mora on the right side with two hands as places it over the rim. That's Mora's first bucket here in the third quarter. That's 10 points for him. 36-35 Eagles. Hippity-hop coming down the lane at the other end for Clovis. Instead, passing it up top. Hernandez as he connects to the timeline to Nora. Coming back for the handoff is Gutierrez with 18 seconds. High pass to the left wing to Brown. Guarded by Miller. Top of the circle on the dribble, sliding left to right. Gives it off to Gutierrez on the right side. Clock down to 8. Behind him, over to the far side, Hernandez bobbled it. One-hand bouncer to the timeline. To Nora with 2 seconds. One, he fumbles it. Dish off right wing, a three at the buzzer is an air ball for Hernandez. At the end of the third quarter, the Eagles with a 1-point lead over Clovis, 36-35. We'll come back in 60 seconds on Cool 95.7, YouTube, at HobbsAmerica.com.
You're clear. $30. Hobbs girls are winning 64-35. Five. 3, 2, 1, go.
We've got a barn burner here at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis. Ty friend Ron Gunner, Evie Stuber back at the station as Eagles lead 36-35. They outscored Clovis 17-11 in that third quarter. Top score for Hobbs, 10 for Mora, 9 for Gore, 5 apiece for Lewis and Ramos. And for Clovis, it's 7 for Goldsmith and Phillips each, 6 for Garcia. Clovis basketball down by 1 to start the fourth. Top of the arc with the dribbles, Gutierrez around the right side, hands it off to Goldsmith. Flicks it back to Gutierrez on the right wing. To Goldsmith, top of the circle, guarded closely by Ross. Dish off to the left side to Hernandez. Sends it back deep to the timeline to Gutierrez, to the right side with the handoff to Lewis. Lewis kicks it back left side to Garcia, drives the baseline, falls to the floor, and they call the body on Miller from behind. So Miller will pick up the foul. Hobbs Eagle coaching staff doing jumping jacks on the bench after that one. Didn't like the call, I guess. So Miller with the second personal, 6th team foul on the Eagles. Right baseline now for the Wildcats on the inbound. The coaching staff going to come out there with a towel. His body did hit the floor on that one. Eagles' top rebounder so far is Jalen Gore with 5, 4 for Ramos, 3 apiece for Mora and Ross. Top boardman for Clovis, 6 for Jaden Phillips, 4 for Goldsmith. Clovis basketball right base, inbound to the left corner to Lewis. Keeps it on the same side, Hernandez off the pass. Bounce up top to Goldsmith, guarded closely by Van Landingham. Over to the left wing to Gutierrez. Handoff behind him to Lewis, going left to right, top of the circle. Back to the timeline to Hernandez. Sends it to the left wing to Gutierrez. Handoff behind to Goldsmith. Drive to the left elbow off the crossover. Uses up his dribble. Handoff left wing to Garcia for 3, and he snaps the net. Count it for Garcia. 4 3-pointer for the Wildcats. He's got 9. 38-36, Clovis by 2. 6:50 left in the fourth. In the front court, Gore on the crossover. To Lewis on the left wing. Dumps it to Moore, left elbow, but it's taken in midair. A steal by Garcia. Turnover number 20. But taken back by Lewis on a long ball at the other end on his steal. Turnover number 20 for Clovis. Has a man wide open at the other end. A layup on the way for Ronnie Ross off to the races right side. He's got 5. We're tied at 38. Catch your breath here at Rock Staubus. Getting away at the travel on the near side is Goldsmith. He took a step or two before throwing it down court. Catch made on the far sideline. Front court for Lewis. Slows it down with the pass to Goldsmith on the left wing. Dribbles to the top of the arc. Coming back to get it from him is Lewis on the far sideline. Gives it off to Gutierrez on the right wing. Uses up his dribble. Kick up top to Lewis. Over to left side to Goldsmith. Tries to get it down to the right corner, but overthrows Garcia. Threw it kind of ahead of him that time towards the baseline. It sails out to the deep right corner, out of bounds for the 21st turnover. Here at Rock Staubus Gym, tied at 38 with 6:02 left here in the fourth. Hobbs basketball could take a lead. Van Landingham dribbles through 2 defenders in the front court. Goes to Ross, left corner, drives to the lane. From the block, spins, tries to throw up a shot, is bodied. A foul by the big bruiser down there, Jaden Phillips. Ball came off the rim, but that'll give 2 shots for Ross on the line. Phillips with 3 personals, 17 foul. Both teams will be in the bonus for the rest of this contest. Ross on the line, 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. He's got 5 points. Mora with 10, Gore with 9. 5 apiece for Lewis and Ramos. And now make it 6 for Ross as he makes his first free throw. He's now 2 for 3. Eagles pull up by 1, 39-38. Both teams have been leaders by 5 points in this ball game. Second shot for Ross is a swish. He's got 7 points now. 40-38, Eagles by 2. The inbound to the deep right corner. Having problems, Hernandez a double team. Lost the ball in the paint, picked up for the Wildcats. Diving on the floor is Garcia. And boy, Coach Isler at the other end was smart to call the timeout, almost a turnover for the Wildcats. We'll take a 30-second break as the Eagles lead by the deuce, 40-38 over Clovis. Come back in half a minute on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear. Ten. 5. 3, 2, 1, go.
District battle number 2 for the Hobbs Eagles. They lead Clovis 40-38. Eagles came in with a 4-1 record, and Clovis at 5-1. The Cats at 1-0 in district. Eagles at 0-1. Would like to pull off a road victory here. Every game is big. A ricochet on the inbound, barely controlled by Garcia as he comes into the front court. Van Landingham puts some tough D on him. Spin move to the left corner. Double team. He's able to flick it back to the timeline to Gutierrez. Cross court left, right corner to Goldsmith. Up top to Lewis. Sends it to the left wing and dribbling up top once again is Gutierrez. Back to the right, driving the lane is Lewis with a shot from the right block. Shot puts it off the glass for 2. Lewis with his first bucket. We're tied at 40. 5:20 left here in the fourth. The Eagles tied with Clovis. Goro unload to the left wing to Lewis as he's guarded by Gutierrez. Top of the circle. One hands it to Gore. He got shouldered in the face, then hit again in the chest. He gets his retain on the dribble there. Boy, he still was able to dribble that one. Pass to Ross on the left elbow. Throws up a 10-footer off the back of the rim. Underneath the hoop for the rebound is the quiet Wildcats and Lewis with his third board. Lost the ball across the timeline. Picked up by Goldsmith. Dumps it right block to Phillips. Spins. Underhands it to the right wing. 3 on the way. Off the back of the rim for Garcia. Long rebound for Gore on a 3-on-1. Throws it ahead left side to Ross and returns to Gore on the give and go. Quick jumper in the paint. Swishes it through for 2. He's got 11 points. The Eagles now up by 2, 42-40. And we got a slide tackle for Lewis in the backcourt. Completely took out the legs of the opponent, and that was Bryson Goldsmith. Little soccer action going on there. That's not legal on the hardwood, though. So that'll put Clovis at the other end for some bonuses. 1-1 we should be exact with. 6 rebounds for Jalen Gore in this ball game to lead the Eagles. And again, he scored that bucket off the layup. He's got 11 now. 42-40, Hobbs up with 4:35 remaining. And on the line for the Wildcats with critical free throws, Bryson Goldsmith. He is 2 for 4, 50%, has 7 points, yet to score in the fourth. Free throws up and a swish. He's got 8. 42-41, trying to tie the game up. Taking a breather on the free throw line now. Shots up, and it is bouncing out, no good. Aaron Moore with the big wingspan to rip it down. So Mora now with 4 boards. Gets it into the front court. Gore takes a long NBA 3 from the left side, no good. Bounces to Ramos, top of the circle. That's his 5th rebound. Finds Box in the left corner for a 3 off the front of the rim, and Ramos tips it through for 2. Ramos now putting down his 7th point and 6th rebound. Long pass to the other end, and taking it to the rack with the left hand is Goldsmith. He's got 10. 44-43, Eagles by 1. Long ball to the other end. Mora with a fadeaway in the middle of the paint. He throws it through the right side of the rim. Counted for Mora. He's got 12. 46-43, the Eagles by 3. Are these teams going to let up for me? Half-court pass down to the mid to C.J. Gutierrez. Slides it across with the ball to Goldsmith on the left wing. Sends it down to the right corner to Lewis. Up top to Goldsmith. He's going to back it out to the timeline. Actually, that is Garcia. Picking him up is Gore at the half stripe. He'll come dribbling right. Slides from left to right. Coming back to get it is Lewis at the timeline. Clock to 3.5 remaining. Eagles by 3. Uses up a dribble. Bad bounce pass. Deflected by Box. Picked up by Garcia coming down the lane. Fade away from the right block off the back of the rim. Mora with his 5th rebound. He'll send it to Ramos in the front court on the left wing as he's guarded by Gutierrez. Clock to 3:15. Eagles by 3. Gets a screen for Mora on the left wing. Drives down the baseline. They're going to call the carry. That turnover on the Eagles. Haven't had one of those for quite a long time. The 21st turnover. Both teams have 21 in this barn burner of a contest at Rock Staub's gym. And Ramos is having a word for the official. Wants to know exactly what he did wrong there. But he's being respectful. Got to give him credit. 46-43 Eagles. Playing some D now. Gore deep in the backcourt as he hooks up with Garcia. Garcia will beat him across the timeline as he gives the ball off right wing to Lewis. Tip pass down to Goldsmith, right corner. Dribbles up top. One hands it to Lewis. Jab step. Drives down the lane. Hippity hop. Throws a high one over to the right corner. Brought down by Garcia. Guarded by Ross. Spins. Fadeaway jumper from 15 off the glass. No good. Another big man Mora rebound. He's got 6 underneath. Outlet to Ramos on the far side. He'll dribble up midcourt. Top of the circle. Crossover move stripped and taken away by Darrell Lewis for turnover number 22. Lewis in the front court. Down the lane. Gives it off left block to Goldsmith. Tries to fire up a shot and is fouled going up. Ball goes up straight in the air, but he'll get 2 free throws. Called the foul against the Eagles, and that will be against Gore. That's his second 17th foul. Actually make it 8, and that'll put on the line Bryson Goldsmith. He is 3 of 6 from the charity stripe for 10 points, and he swishes the first one. Clock stop with 2:34 remaining here in the fourth. Hobbs up by 2, 46-44, pending the free throw, the second one for Goldsmith. Again, both teams in the bonus the rest of this game. 7 fouls on Clovis, 8 on the Eagles. Clovis pulled all their defenders back in the offensive front court for the Eagles and just left 3 Hobbs people to rebound. Second free throw good for Goldsmith. They must have a lot of thumbs up there for their free throw shooter. Didn't leave any rebounders to worry about. Eagles up by 1, 46-45. Hobbs ball in the front court. Lewis on the left wing. Back deep to Gore. Hard dribble down the left side of the lane. A runner shot from the block. Bounces off the front of the rim and hits the strap connected to the backboard. Out of bounds. Eagles did not have anybody crashing that time. Kind of a quick shot there for Gore. Now Hobbs going to have to play some defense to keep this lead intact with 1. 46-45. 2:16 remaining in the fourth. Inbound to the deep right corner. Gutierrez sends it to the middle to Goldsmith. He'll dribble it across. Coming down the left lane. Underhands it left corner. Faking the threes. Lewis kicks it back left wing to Gutierrez. And then hands it again on the left side to Lewis. Dribbles to the timeline. Coming back to help out is Garcia. Kicks it back left wing. Driving Lewis to the baseline left. Underhands it left corner to Phillips. Drives down the lane. And they're going to say he went on his knees and he kept the dribble alive. Thought they might have caught a travel, but no, it's a timeout. Coach Isler stops the potential for a travel as he kind of slid on his knees, but he did manage to get the dribble, so he was still alive there. But Coach Isler thought he was going off the cliff and called the timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. Hobbs up by 1. Clovis ball coming back with you on Hobbs Eagle Network.
Your question. How long did you need? Five, 3, 2, 1, go.
Back to fourth quarter action here at Rock Stoppers Gym. Good news for Hobbs Eagle fans. Carlsbad has picked off Roswell in overtime tonight, 56. Or no, going into overtime. They're tied. Sorry, it's not over yet. 56-56. Eagles get a steal on the inbound. Take it to the rack at the other end. A layup on the right side. Put through for Michael Mackey. He's got 5 points, and that is the 22nd turnover for Clovis. Hobbs up by 3. 48-45 with 1:38 remaining. In the front court, the pass to the right wing for the Cats to Goldsmith. Dribbles up top. Coming back to get it is Lewis behind him near the timeline. He'll back it out against Gore. Underhands it to the right side to Goldsmith. He pivots, gets a screen from Phillips. Drives the right side of the baseline. Kicks it back to Phillips on the right wing. Clock to 1:20. Back at the timeline. He cradles it. Dish off to the right side. Another Coach Isler timeout. We'll keep it right here. Let me give you that update once again. Roswell and Carlsbad have gone to overtime, 56 all. Boy, big second half for both teams. Halftime, Roswell was trailing Carlsbad 28-20. Carlsbad scored 28 points in the second half, and Roswell ended up with 36 to get that game tied up once again. So we'll try to get you a final run. Gunner keeping on top of that one. Also, last score we had in the Lovington-Goddard game, 35-34. The Wildcats leading Goddard. And I know the Hobbs Lady Eagles, E.B. Stuber keeping me updated on that one. In the fourth quarter, it was Hobbs 64 and Clovis 35, a 29-point lead for Coach Carpenter and the Lady Eagles. And don't forget, tomorrow we will have Lady Eagles Hoops on our sister station at 7 o'clock. They'll be in Portales to take on the Rams, and that'll be on about 6:50 p.m. That's 100.5 the Eagle for Hobbs Lady Eagle Hoops. 48-45, Hobbs leading by 3 here at Rock Stoppers Gym in Clovis. 3-point lead. Both teams are led by as many as 5. Turnover situation so far, can you believe it? Evened up at 22 apiece. Eagles have shot 12 of 18 from the charity stripe. Another update, Lovington and Goddard have gone to overtime as well. 61-61 in Roswell. Whoa, those Wildcats on a tear there. Thanks to Ron Gunner keeping us going on those scores tonight. 48-45. Clovis basketball just above the half-court line on the right side. Far sideline. Inbounding will be Bryson Goldsmith. Deep back on that sideline to Lewis in the backcourt. He has to chase it down, guarded by Michael Mackey. Brings it across the timeline with 1:10 remaining. Coming around the right, now back to the left on the zigzag. Top of the arc, he stops. Back to get it is Goldsmith at the timeline. He crosses over, and they're going to call a hand check. Coach Reeves wants a carry, not going to get that one. So Lewis will pick up his second. That'll be the 19th foul on the Eagles, one away from the double bonus. On the line will be Bryson Goldsmith. He's been on there quite a bit tonight. 5 of 6 from the line, and he's got 12 points. He is the leading scorer for the Wildcats. Eagles' top scorer right now is 12 for Mora, 11 for Gore, 7 apiece for Ramos and Ross. Free throw bounce around the rim and good. Goldsmith has made his last 3 free throws here in the fourth quarter. He is 4 for 5 in this finale. 48-46, a 2-point ball game. Hobbs by the deuce. 1:03 remaining. Second shot is up, and it's also good. 14 now for Goldsmith. Eagles by 1, 48-47, 1 minute left. Gore will get the pass across the timeline, left side. Double team. Bounce pass up to Lewis on that left again, and Coach Reeves wants to talk about it. I'd like to thank our sponsors of Hobbs Eagle Hoops, including TDS, Lee County State Bank, A-Tech Air Conditioning, Thriftway Grocery, Forest Tire, Bobby Shaw Realty, First American Bank, Lasco Construction, Gateway Insurance Financial, Devon Energy, and Robinson and Associates. The Hobbs Eagles leading by 1, 48-47, as we go down towards the wire here in the fourth quarter at Rock Stoppers Gymnasium. Next game for the Eagles will be Tuesday night at Tasker Arena as they hook up with the Carlsbad Cavemen. Again, we gave you that update. They are tied in overtime as they get overtime going in Carlsbad. as the Cavemen taking on the Roswell Coyotes. Eagles would love to see a loss by the Coyotes to get their first loss in district. Of course, Clovis could have a first loss tonight, too. The Eagles can hold on to this victory here on the road. So Hobbs breaks the huddle first. They're on the court. They'll have the basketball on the far sideline right. Ramos will be the man with it. Wildcats come on with their purple and whites now. Eagles wearing those black uniforms. Very daunting out there on that full court press. Ramos will get into Gore at the timeline. Throws it right to Mackey. Returns to Gore. Over to left to Ramos. Clock to 50. Fakes the pass up top. And then cross courts it. Is coming up to get it was Gore. He picked it off out of the midair as it was heading towards the right. To Mackey on the right wing. Threads the needle to Mora coming down the lane. High arching shot off the back of the rim. No good. Gets his own rebound. Trying to look for a pass. And that's the 7th board. He gets shoved heading towards the baseline. And they're going to count the basket. He leaned in towards the hoop at the last second. Chance for a 3-point play for Mora. And the foul is going to be called on the Wildcats. That's going to be on Dominic Brown, his third, this 18th foul. I didn't think they were going to give him a shot on that one because he kind of waited a second on the hesitation, but put it in for Mora. He's got 14. First free throw of the ball game, though, off the back of the rim. Ripped down at the free throw line, down by Goldsmith, his 5th rebound. He tries to drill up the middle of the court and is mauled from behind by about 2 or 3 Hobbs Eagle defenders. Mora got a paw on him. That'll be his second, but he did stop a transition layup that time. Pretty smart foul for the big kid, Aaron Mora. 50-47. Hobbs has a 3-point lead with 33 seconds remaining. On the line is Goldsmith. 7 of 10 from the charity stripe, 70%, and makes that one. He has made his last 5 free throws. 6 of 7 from the line just in the 4th quarter alone, and has 15 points. And make it 16 on the next one. 50-49. Eagles got to take care of the basketball. Up by 1 with 30 seconds left. Ramos over to Gore on the far side. Back to Ramos. He'll dribble across, give it to Mora. Kicks it right to Mackey. Double team. Back to Mora. And sends it to Ramos at the timeline. They call the reach on the Wildcats. Boy, a little bit of high throws there near the timeline. Dangerous as they call the reach foul on Gutierrez. His third. 19th foul. So getting the 1-1 is Mora. Just 0 for 1 so far. He shot a free throw just seconds ago. He's got 14 to lead the Eagles. Would like to extend this lead to 3 with both throws. First shot is hard off the back of the rim, but it goes up straight in the air, and it goes through the cylinder. Boy, I couldn't believe that thing was going to stay up in the air that long. Count it for Mora. Very important free throw. Eagles by 2, 51-49. Second shot for Mora is up, and this one high off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound on the baseline. Pulled down by Phillips, his 7th. Bounce pass to the free throw line, backcourt to Lewis. He'll come across to the bouncer, backdoor to Garcia. He'll come out of the pressure with 12 seconds, and Coach Isler calls a timeout. We're going to keep it right here. It will be a 60-second timeout. Now, Clovis is known to shoot some treys. A couple of games this season, they got some big ones towards the end of the 3rd quarter last week against Carlsbad. Actually, I believe it was Tuesday. They hit 3 3-pointers and then extended their lead to 20 to finish up the ball game and completely take apart Carlsbad. So they are known to shoot the treys when needed. That's something the Eagles got to be careful. I don't think Clovis wants to go to overtime. They still got to get at least 2 points to tie it up. But going to overtime with this type of battle, both teams in the bonus, that could be a killer to make sure that you can try to last the rest of this series here. So 12 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter, and Hobbs up 51-49. You got to guarantee that Coach Reeves is going to say if it's a 3-point shot, withdraw those arms in the last second. Don't leave them up there for any chance of a foul call. Even if you miss a 3-pointer, that's 3 free throws. Especially Bryson Goldsmith. He continues to put down the throws in this 4th quarter. We mentioned that already. 7 free throws out of 8 in this 4th. He's got 16 points. 9 of those coming in the 4th quarter. 2-point Hobbs Eagle lead, trying to rack their record up to 1-1 if they win tonight. They lead 51-49. 12 seconds remaining. Clovis on the far sideline. On the right of the 3-point arc. They throw it down deep to Phillips' left corner. Goes up with a fadeaway, misses the little hook shot, but on top of his body is Aaron Mora. He was able to stop the shot by putting that pressure down on his back, which didn't give him a good release, but he will get 2 free throws out of it. And for Mora, that will be his 3rd personal. That's the 11th team foul against the Eagles. Critical free throws, though, for the big kid, Jaden Phillips. He's 0 for 0 so far and misses the first free throw off the back of the rim. Eagles better be crashing hard now. Hobbs kids on the bench are trying to get the crowd up on their feet, the black and gold at least, with their arms raised. Phillips has got a very important free throw here. He could also miss it and get a rebound with 10 seconds remaining. Second shot is in and out, no good, but pulled down in the left block. A fadeaway off the glass, counted, and the foul. Eagles did not block out. Phillips missed the second free throw, but Garcia tipped it in from the left glass. That's his third rebound and 11th point, and was fouled. They call that one on Ramos, and that's his fifth personal. Ramos will foul out with 7 points. 9.4 seconds remaining. We're tied at 51. That will put Garcia on the line, who is yet to shoot a free throw. He does have 11 points. 51 all. Big free throw here for Garcia. It's off the back of the rim. Mora gets the rebound. Outlet to the near sideline to Lewis. Throws it down low to Mackey. Lost the ball in the paint with 3 seconds. Ball loose. Mackey steals shot. And it's good! He put it in the hole! He scored! He scored! There's a foul, but he scored! That should be the ball game! Mackey was over the rim and he tips it in! The win for the Hobbs Eagles at the buzzer! 53-51! Shelby Reeves with the fist in the air! The Eagles dodging a bullet! The hero of the ball game, Michael Mackey, underneath the hoop, lost the ball down the lane on a deep pass, got it back underneath the hoop, put it over the top of the rim, and wins the ball game. No foul shot needed. The Eagles win a thriller. I'm sure I blasted the microphone a little bit loud there. Ron is shaking his head at me right now. So is Evie back at the station. The Hobbs Eagles have won at 53-51. Let me catch my breath and come back in 3 minutes. The Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cole, HobbsAmerica.com, and YouTube.
You're clear. 90 seconds.
Add another 30, please.
Got you. One minute. 30.
One more 30.
Got it. $30. $15. Three, two, one, go.
Back live here at Rock Stubbs Gym in Clovis. The Hobbs Eagles coming up with the big victory tonight, 53-51 over Clovis to get their record of 1-1 in district and improve the overall to 5-1. That's the first loss for the Wildcats in district. They go to 1-1 and drop to 5-2 overall. Let's look at the numbers in this ball game. First of all, for the Wildcats, they had 2 in double digits. Bryson Goldsmith finishing with 16 points, and he was deadly from the free throw line, 9 of 12 for 75%. Also a second leading rebounder with 5. Also with double digits, Elijah Garcia finishing with 11 points. He had 1 tray in the ball game, went 0 for 1 on the line, and 3 rebounds. Other scores for the Wildcats, Jaden Phillips with 7 points. He hit a tray and had 7 rebounds. Down the list, Dominic Brown with 4 points, 2 for 2 free throw shooting. CJ Gutierrez had 4 points, was also 2 for 2 on the line. RJ Nora hit a 3-point shot for the Cats and finished up with 3 points as well. Juan Hernandez had 4 points on a couple of baskets, and Darrell Lewis hit a bucket for 2 points. Total numbers tonight: 8 scorers for the Clovis Wildcats. They were 13 of 22 from the charity stripe for 59%, and they had 20 rebounds in this ball game as they were led by Jaden Phillips with 7, 5 for Bryson Goldsmith. And for your Hobbs Eagles, on their scoring numbers, it was Aaron Mora. Not a double-double tonight, but he did get some critical points, 15 for the Eagles. He was also 1 of 3 for the charity stripe in the fourth quarter and had 8 rebounds. 11 for Jalen Gore, 5 of 6 from the line. Did not get a three-pointer in this game, but was a very important board man with 6 total rebounds. 7 for Michael Mackey with a big winner at the buzzer to beat the Wildcats. He was 1 of 2 from the line. Jesus Ramos finishing with 7 points, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe as well, and he had 6 rebounds. He was tied for second on the team for the boards. Ronnie Ross, very tough defensive game for him, getting in there and putting a body on people. He finished up with 7 as well, so 3 players with 7 points apiece. He went 3 for 4 from the line and also added 3 rebounds. Also in the books, Jaden Miller went 1 of 2 from the line with 1 rebound. So the Hobbs Eagles finish up with 7 players in the scorebook. They were 13 of 22 for 59% from the charity stripe. In fact, I think that's exactly the same number that Clovis had, unless I've misadded somewhere, which I probably could have done with all the excitement around here. But both teams getting a lot of typical opportunities both ends of the court. The Eagles did out-rebound Clovis 26-20. We mentioned the top boardman was Mora with 8, 6 apiece for Ramos and Jalen Gore. Also Box got 1, Michael Mackey with 1, and Ronnie Ross finishing up with 2. The Eagles had 22 turnovers and 22 for the Clovis Wildcats. A very low-scoring ball game, a total of 104 points on the scoreboard tonight as the Hobbs Eagles pull off the 53-51 victory. Hobbs was down or up in the first quarter 12-9, but trailing 24-19 at the half as Clovis outscored them 15-7 in the second quarter. But Hobbs took the lead at the end of the third, 36-35, after outscoring Clovis 17-9. So a 1-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and the Eagles finish it off with 17 points in the fourth, 16 for the Clovis Wildcats. And again, the Eagles with the 2-point victory here on the road. So what an excellent win for the Eagles, and of course Michael Mackey, the hero of the hour. Again, the pass coming down the lane deep from about half court. Kind of bobbled in the lane just a bit. It did hit a Clovis Wildcat. Looked like he was going to come up with it, but then Mackey scrambling for it, got up high over the rim, taps it in at the buzzer, and there was a foul even called there at the last second, but it doesn't matter after you got the lead. Game is over if that's going to be the bucket to put you ahead. So A big win for the Eagles on that play by Michael Mackey. We do have some final scores coming in around the area. The Hobbs Lady Eagles get another win under their belts, undefeated this season, 64-38 over Clovis there at Ralph Tasker Arena, so big win there by 26. Other scores for you, the Goddard Lady Rockets defeat Lovington tonight. That score 58-17, so the Lady Cats losing in that one as well. Other contest in overtime, Roswell came from behind to defeat Carlsbad. That was in Carlsbad, 63-60, so Roswell is now 2-0 in the district. And in also boys action, the Goddard Rockets went to overtime with Lovington, and Goddard got a win by 3 over Lovington, 74-71. And a final score, big win for Tatum tonight, 52-17 over Loving. And in case you missed the first game, it was unfortunately the first loss of the season for the Hobbs JV to Clovis, 65-53. But the big game of the night, the Hobbs Eagles victorious, 53-51, thanks to 15 for Mora, 11 for Jalen Gore, and the big bucket at the buzzer for Michael Mackey. Tuesday night, excuse me, I guess that last shot is really getting to me. It feels like I just poured pepper down my throat. Tuesday night, the Hobbs boys back in action at Tasker Arena, as they will take on the Carlsbad Cavemen. That game they just played tonight went to overtime, so they'll be ready for a hungry game there at Tasker Arena. We'll have that about 6:50 on, again, all of our stations, Cool 95.7, internet, HobbsAmerica.com, and on YouTube. And don't forget, tomorrow night, Hobbs Lady Eagles back in action as well. They will be in Portales, just down the road from here, and they will play on our sister station, 100.5 The Eagle. We'll have that game around 6:50 p.m., so lots more basketball to come tomorrow night. Hope you enjoyed this exciting game from Rock Stavis Gymnasium. Your Hobbs Eagles coming home with a 5-1 record, 1-1 in district. Until next Tuesday for boys action and tomorrow night for girls. Have a great weekend. Thanks to Ron Gunner and, of course, Evie Stuber back at the station.
Your question.